Hi everyone, I'm here to review the syllabus for Art 103. If you have any questions, any comments, please don't hesitate to email me. I will clarify. And also there's a Q&A discussion board on the website on Blackboard, so go in there and post your question if you have it. A lot of times other people have it as well. So let's get started. So this is an introduction to art course, which means you'll get an introduction to various forms, functions, artwork, art history, some architecture, and really try to understand the influences on our society and how art enriches us as humans and enriches our society we live in. So a lot of students have some apprehension when they find out you have some projects to do, which typically this is what they would call an art in the dark course, which is I lecture, you listen, you take a quiz, you take a test, you do an essay, and you get a grade, right? Well, since many students do not have an actual art design lab or an art drawing lab, a painting lab, very limited access to art, I decided that we need to combine a little of that, and the functions of the projects are not really to make you an artist. They're not actually at all to make you an artist. What they are is to give you some respect for what the artist does, to give you some insight as the tools that they use, and really kind of hone some of your visual skills so then you can pick them out when you look at actual artwork. It really helps to be able to do something in order to see something in someone else's artwork. So they're minimal. They do take a little time, and sometimes you may have to practice a little before you turn it in if you want a better grade. I've been doing this a while, so I can kind of tell how long it's taken you to do something and how much effort you've put into it. So that being said, that's all those projects are, is fundamental drawing, painting, perhaps design functions. So the main communication function in this course is announcements, and that goes from me to you, discussion boards, and that tends to be from you to me or from student to student, so you can respond to each other through the discussion board, and email. Email, you have questions, you need clarification, you have comments that you don't have another form for on the course, then feel free to email me. What email is not for is for turning in work. So there will be an assignment link for all work on Blackboard, so make sure you turn it in through the assignment link or the way that I request it. I will not accept email. It's hard to track. It's hard to keep track of in the future, and it's not in your grade book. So I need to know what you've turned in, when you've turned it in, and you need a grade for that. So the only way to do that is to do it through Blackboard assignment and grade book. Please make sure you follow those instructions in whatever way and function you're requested to turn in your work. Please review the things you are not supposed to do, like write lengthy papers on a mobile tablet or your phone, use texting language in the discussion boards, do not expect to review all the course information on your phone. Blackboard isn't there yet. It doesn't use HTML5. It still uses Java, so sometimes in Flash, so sometimes it's difficult on Macs or on iPhones, so have access to a PC. It doesn't have to be yours, but you can do it in the library. You can do it if you're in high school. You can do it in your school labs. You can do it in the public library system. There's plenty of options if you don't have your own. You may need to schedule that time, but make sure you have access to a PC and some headphones. So everybody in the room doesn't have to listen to me if I'm doing a lecture. I'm sure they would appreciate it. And finally, the discussion boards are very much a scholarly discussion. So you will have a rubric for those, and many times I do ask for your opinion on things because art is very opinion-based. It's influenced by your history, by your culture that you grew up in, that you're exposed to. But what you also need to do is bring out something from the course lecture, from the course textbook, from the course other elements in the course. You need to add that into your discussion board post to really make that a scholarly work. We are working from several textbooks. Most of my slides were done, designed, and lectured over from the 8th edition. But many of the subsequent editions, the 9th, 10th, and 11th, are pretty much the same. I will try and let you know if something is really changed, like a chapter or an element in the text in the chapter that we're covering. You might have to look for it somewhere else. You may have to look through the chapter to find the image that we're looking at on screen. However, it will be in there. If it isn't, it will be on your screen. So I encourage you to not only read the chapters in the book, but also watch the PowerPoints, because I will not ask you anything on your quizzes or your exams that I do not cover in the PowerPoints and is not covered in all the textbooks. It's important to get your textbook before the second week of class. So this week, if you don't have it already, make sure you have a textbook by next Wednesday. You cannot complete this course without one. I've given you options for various editions. The 8th and the 11th are my favorite. That's what the bookstore sells. You can find them online. And also the art kit. The art kit, if you have those things, then you don't need to buy that from the bookstore, but I strongly encourage you to buy it. It makes it easier. You have what you need. And also, you may find various uses for that outside of class. So there's nothing in there that I've made you buy that you couldn't find a need for, or you may not, or that you may have a need for after you've done with this class. So the main structure of this class is lectures, quizzes, exams, assignments. We have online discussions, and we also have projects. And you will have a major art project at the end. Now, this is not can you draw a figure, or this is not you can do a painting. It's something that is more creative, reflects what you've learned in the semester. So we'll talk about that later, and there's no reason to get worried about having to do that project. I've replaced the research paper that I typically would have in lieu of something more creative, more fun, more reflective of this class. The quizzes, will tend to have one per chapter that we cover. We will have a midterm and a final. The midterm will be the chapters covered to that point. The final will be pretty much the chapters covered after the midterm with some cumulative questions thrown in there. And also some essays in both of those. Now, something's very important about taking quizzes online. They open on Wednesday, as do the chapters. This course will run from Wednesday to Wednesday. So make sure you log in early. I would advise you to work early on your quizzes and your assignments because you have a week to do them. So there's really no reason, unless you have a severe medical reason or an emergency, not to have them done. So you will not be able to turn in assignments after the assignment date. In Blackboard, the link goes away. So when the link's there, you can turn it in. When the link's not there, you can't. There is no makeup work on the assignments or the midterm or the final, unless you would have a medical excuse. That's the only excuse taken for the midterm and the final, as well as the assignments. If you do have issues taking a quiz or taking a test, then contact me immediately. If it is at 10 o'clock on Wednesday night, right before the close of the test, you won't hear back from me. You should expect to hear back from me during the early evening, sometimes over lunch. I do have a full-time job, I have family, I have friends, I have things to do, so just because it's online does not mean our communication is instant. I will do my best to get back to you within 24 hours. That does not apply to Saturday and Sundays. I will try and get back to you, but that does not mean I will in a 24-hour period over the weekend. Just as you would not expect your face-to-face teacher to be in his office to answer your questions on Saturday or Sunday or at night, you can't expect me as well to do that. So it's just a courtesy that that you give me 24 hours during normal business days. Even though I'm doing this recording, I still need you to look through the syllabus. It gives you an overview of the course requirements. The projects, like I said, are quite small, except for the one art project that we'll have later on in the semester. The special projects. We also have, you'll notice in the course requirements, gallery report. That is a bonus assignment. I encourage everyone in the class to go visit a gallery. That information is in the syllabus. How to do it, what's acceptable, how to turn it in. It is a bonus opportunity, and I highly encourage you to take it. The other thing here is grit points, and you'll notice in the beginning, the first week, you'll look through what is grit and some sort of other self evaluative elements. And I really want you to pay attention to those and to self-reflect on your own grittiness. And once in a while, I see grit in students, and I think it needs to be rewarded. So if you see grit points popping up here and there, you'll know why. You'll know that you did something that was deserved some gratitude. So I give gratitude where I see it. So I'm going to wrap this recording up now so that it's not too long. If you find my recordings are too long, let me know, and I will try and chunk them out a little bit for you. So thank you for taking the course, and if you have questions, please email me. Review the syllabus. The link is on the side there in Blackboard. If you have any questions about Blackboard, how to find anything, how to get to anything, let me know. The first week will be open the first day of the semester, and it runs again from Wednesday to Wednesday.